Thank you. You may be seated. The court is convened today in special session to conduct naturalization proceedings for those persons who desire to become and have shown themselves to be qualified to become new citizens of the United States. My name is John Lundstrom. I'm one of the judges of the United States District Court for the District of Kansas. I happen to live here in Lawrence, Kansas, so it's with particular pride and appreciation that I feel very privileged to preside over this particular ceremony here today. I'd like to welcome not only our prospective new citizens, but also all of the friends and relatives who have come to share in this very special occasion. Seated with me to my right is Professor Raj Bala, whom I will formally introduce to you later. You may be interested to know that new citizens today follow very much the road to citizenship, which has been taken by those who have come before them for more than 2 centuries. Since 1790, when the first naturalization law was passed by Congress, there has always been some sort of judicial proceeding in court. Maybe it hasn't always been quite as elaborate as what we'll be doing today, but there's been some kind of proceeding to formalize and put sort of a particular stamp on the naturalization process. The court is delighted to take part and make this a very special event in your lives. And it's also probably the best thing that we ever get to do, because everyone goes away happy, and that's not always the case with court. For several years, the court has been pleased to hold a naturalization ceremony here on the campus of the University of Kansas at the Dole Institute of Politics. And I want to give my thanks to Bill Lacey, the director of the Dole Institute, and Barbara Ballard and others involved in helping us and being so welcoming to us in carrying on this particular tradition. Another tradition has been that a representative of the University of Kansas has participated, and today it is my pleasure to introduce Senior Vice Provost for Academic Affairs, Sarah Thomas Rosen, to give an official welcome on behalf of the University of Kansas.
Thank you, Your Honor. I am thrilled and honored to welcome you to the University of Kansas and to congratulate you on becoming citizens of the United States. KU is an international research university dedicated to educating leaders from more than 100 nations, to building healthy communities here and around the globe, and to making discoveries that will change our world. Our students and scholars' diverse experiences and backgrounds enrich our KU community and lead to new discoveries and new ideas, and that's something we're proud of here at KU. Many of our international students return to their home countries when their studies are over, but many of our students make the commitment that you have made by becoming U.S. citizens. The U.S. is founded upon people like you who make the decision to become citizens, my own heritage included. I'm a second-generation citizen on one side of my family, and many more generations that I can't even count on the other side. Many of us have a similar and remarkable journey to U.S. citizenship, and that is one of the foundations upon which our country is built. The rights of citizenship are many, and the process you've gone through to earn those rights is difficult, but it is difficult for a reason. The rights you gain as citizens have been hard-won and must continue to be protected. In addition to rights, citizens also have responsibilities to uphold, such as voting and serving on a jury. These responsibilities are part of being an active member of our community. KU is committed to helping all citizens be engaged citizens, and this beautiful setting, the Dole Institute of Politics, is a great example of how we strive to uphold that mission. I encourage you to take advantage of the many programs offered here at the Dole Institute and across the university as you enjoy the rights and uphold the responsibilities of citizenship. Today, you remind us of what a precious gift citizenship is, and you honor us with your commitment to becoming American citizens. Again, it is my privilege to be here as you take the oath, and I know I speak for everyone here when I say we are honored to have you as fellow citizens. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you very much for those very appropriate and very welcoming remarks. It's always good, as I say, to have a representative of KU be a part of this, and I think KU stands for many of the things that all of us hold as important as we think about what it is like to be an American and what American citizenship involves. As you note from your program, on September 17th, we'll be recognizing Constitution Day in the United States. And as Americans, we are rightfully proud of our Constitution, and there are many reasons why it is very appropriate that we honor it, and that a particular day has been set aside for that purpose. I would like to mention one aspect of that today, which sometimes does not receive very much public attention. The United States is one of the few countries in the world that has a judicial branch that is independent of the rest of the government. Our judges are bound to follow the law and their own consciences, but are not controlled by a king, a president, or a parliament. Once a federal judge is appointed and confirmed, he or she is a part of a separate branch of government established by Article 3 of the Constitution. This does not mean that judges should be arrogant or set themselves up as petty tyrants. The checks and balances of our constitutional system guard against that. Judges are accountable, but they do not and should not decide cases for personal gain or to win favor or to follow the orders of the party or person who appointed them. In this respect, our judicial system is the envy of the world. I am proud and humbled to be a part of that system and to honor today the Constitution which created it. I hope that you will reflect on the importance of an independent judiciary yourselves and decide that it is a source of pride for you too. I'd now like to introduce Dave Rempel. Dave is a graduate of the University of Kansas School of Law at Yale University, or Yale College, I should more properly say. Dave is one of my law clerks. That is one of the people who helps me in research and writing and advising me about how cases are decided. But for our purposes today, what's important is that Dave is an accomplished vocalist. Dave?
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrim feet whose stern impassioned stress a thoroughfare for freedom beat across the wilderness. America, America, God mend thine every flaw, my soul in self-control, thy liberty in law.
Thank you very much, Dave. I really marvel at the ability to sing, particularly without any musical accompaniment like that. I don't even do that well in my shower. So thank you, Dave, for being with us today. For the purpose of introducing our new citizens, I would now like to call upon Elaine Howlett from the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. You may proceed.
This morning, I would like to introduce 99 applicants for United States citizenship. These applicants come from 42 different countries. They have met the formal requirements imposed by law for United States citizenship. Upon taking the oath of allegiance, each will have the rights, the privileges, and the responsibilities of United States citizenship. As I call your names, please stand and say the country from which you come. Alvin James Donalds, Jamaica. Daniel Alonzo Lamas, Mexico. Ying Huang, China. Lynette Regla Moya, Cuba. Gustavo de Leon Diaz, Mexico. Sergio Cornelio Guzman, Mexico. Asif Mahmood, Bangladesh. Norma Alicia Murillo, Mexico. Mani Kandan Ramanu Jam, India. Deepa Rajan, India. Marcel Vitug Padigos, Philippines. Elizabeth Jamalin Laurie, Philippines. Mary Irene Kalwag Shifley, Philippines. Walid Sayed Matei, Egypt. Aliona Pamazuniuk, Moldova. Che Yu Sao, Taiwan. Wendy Vanessa Arroyo, Costa Rica. Graciela Coronado, Mexico. Victor Ojeda, Mexico. Abraham Alamehu Gurmu, Ethiopia. Naomi Jepkorir Mutai, Kenya. Valerie Susana Villarreal, Venezuela. Amrit Pal Singh, India. Harpreet Singh, India. Bhupinder Pal Kar, India. Amir Abazadeh, Iran. Abdul Qadir Fateh Sharif, Iraq. Guillermo Lariva, Mexico. Bella Carubo Osorio, Kenya. Yenny Maritza Santa Cruz, Colombia. Christian Godofredo Baroa Carrasco, Dominican Republic. Ofelia Portillo de Baez, Mexico. Ferry Chandra, Indonesia. Nicholas Rincon Rodriguez, Mexico. Wenji Chin, China. Anchali Smirmongu Kolkul, Thailand. Haley Hong Tang, Vietnam. Carlos Blanco, Spain. Paola Andrea Kaufman, Colombia. T. Kun Yao, Malaysia. Karen Yesenia Vargas Flamenco, Honduras. James Du Vu Nguyen, Vietnam. Sin Kai Yin Liu, Paraguay. Heather Marshall, United Kingdom. Fortino Guerrero, Mexico. Tania Lucia McGill, Mexico. Sofia Menaniva, Ukraine. Leela Bandahur Ra, Bhutan. Ruslan Frolov, Russia. Maria Teresa Sakash, Philippines. Manuela Collier, Mexico. Esther Wangche Terui, Kenya. Victor Roberto Mansilla, Peru. Sunil Mova, India. Hamantha Mova, India. Deepa Rai, Nepal. Ratnaraja Rai, Hong Kong. Amritpal Singh Dole, India. Hanad Yvonne Ruiz, Mexico. Sheng Yang, Thailand. Nelson Vladimir Umana, El Salvador. Naman Bharat Patel, India. Juan Carlos Tiscareno, Mexico. Alonso Gamboa Sanchez, Mexico. Kabal Chand Baines, India. Ana Luisa Urina, Mexico. Pablo Antonio Rios, Guatemala. Stephen Alexander Cheladurai, India. Ki Lee, Thailand. Vincent Rodriguez Lopez, Mexico. Alfonso Barragan Surda, Mexico. Harpreet Kaur, India. Amrit Pal Singh, India. Wanda Marilyn Heroline, Argentina. Lilia Solorio Ramirez, Mexico. Masroor Ayub, Pakistan. Dmitry Karabat, Ukraine. Consuelo Janeth Ugarte Faudoa, Mexico. Shini Zakaria, India. Monica Cristina Mendez, Mexico. Jose Rodriguez Borja, Mexico. Monica Roldan Summers, Mexico. Benny Kloss, Germany. Salvador Morales Garcia, Mexico. Su Tin Zai Thang, Burma. Adriana Ayala, Colombia. Isidro Roberto Ramirez, Mexico. Ivan Branislavovich Adzigere, Russia. Naul El-Batji, Morocco. Punit Goel, India. Fang Yi, China. Roshin Irfan, Pakistan. Khan Duc Tran, Vietnam. Nadia Michelle Rosales Martinez, Mexico. Lenora Romelia Shoup, Guatemala. Ziyan Gao, China. Juan Carlos Santoyo, Mexico. Jadeep Singh Dhillon, India. Amarojot Kaur Bhatia, India. And this, Your Honor, is our class of applicants for this morning. At this time, the government moves that the oath of allegiance be administered to the prospective citizens of the United States, and that all petitions for change of name be granted.
Thank you very much, and those motions should be and are hereby granted. Now, before the administration of the oath, I'd like to just call your attention to a couple of things. The oath of allegiance to the United States has two parts. In the first part, you'll renounce your allegiance and fidelity to any foreign country, state, or sovereignty. After the oath, you will then owe all of your allegiance to the United States. In the second part of the oath, you will swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. In taking this oath, you should be aware of the many freedoms and rights those who first established this country, as well as those who have come after them, wanted so desperately when they came to America. In fact, these were summed up in the Declaration of Independence and became the framework of the Constitution and its first 10 amendments, our Bill of Rights. Because we are persuaded that you agree with the principles expressed in the Constitution, and that you will keep your oath to support and defend that great instrument, we are about to bestow on you the same privileges as native-born Americans. With these thoughts in mind, you will now take the oath of a new citizen, which will be administered by Deputy Clerk of the Court, Sharon Shire. Ms. Shire?
I'd ask that each of the prospective new citizens please stand. You raise your right hand and then you'll repeat after me, please. I, and then state your name, hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance to any foreign prince, potentate, state or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by law, and that I take this obligation freely and without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God.
You may be seated. And now it is my pleasure to be the first to congratulate you as new citizens of the United States. I'm always awed by the number of people who go through the rigors of this process and come from so many different countries and backgrounds, seeking to become a part of this, which is our country now, and it's so pleasing to have all of you with us here today. I know that you're also aware that your predecessors brought their talents and energies just as you have, And through dedication and adherence to the same obligations and the responsibility that's expressed in the oath of allegiance you've taken, they molded this country into a land of freedom and liberty. You now join the citizens of this country, and through our combined efforts, I trust that we can make this an even better place in which to live. We salute you all and wish you well. Now I'm pleased and honored to introduce our guest speaker to you today. I mentioned him in passing at the beginning, but let me more formally introduce to you Rice Distinguished Professor Raj Bala, the Associate Dean for International and Comparative Law at the University of Kansas School of Law. Professor Bala is an award-winning expert in international trade and is also the first non-Muslim American law professor to write a comprehensive textbook on Islamic law. An honors graduate of Duke University, the London School of Economics, Oxford, and the Harvard Law School, Raj's service includes membership on the Council on Foreign Relations and the Indian Society of International Law, as well as teaching at the Command and General Staff College at Fort Leavenworth. I'm also pleased to say he's my friend. Raj?
Your Honor, may it please the court.
You may proceed.
Congratulations to each one of you and to your families on your United States citizenship. This occasion is truly one of life's defining moments. How humbled, therefore, I am to be here with you today, and how thankful I am to the Honorable Judge John Lungstrom for this invitation. How can I possibly capture the odyssey you have endured to arrive here? What can I possibly say that is as meaningful as your passions on your journey here? Even the most cerebral of professors and the most technical of lawyers can appreciate that your presence here and your status as America's newest citizens are thanks to your extraordinary efforts and the grace of God. Your being sworn in is a product of human perseverance and patience and of divine love and light. What I can say is to tell you that you're the future of America. What you can do here in Kansas and across America is limitless. In fact, Kansas and America needs your boundless potential. Our democracy always needs nurturing. Our free market economy always needs adjustment. Today there is concern that America's on the road to becoming a plutocracy, a nation ruled and dominated by wealthy and well-connected elites. And elections sometimes seem dominated by special interests. Income inequality, it has worsened since the Great Recession and the global economic slump. Just last week, the Federal Reserve showed in its survey that all the economic growth in the last 4 years was captured by the top earners. And the top 3% have about 30% of all the income and about half of all the wealth. But it is thanks to America's openness to you and the vision of its founding fathers for liberty and equality of opportunity that we can still realize those dreams. And my family and I are living proof. Once in 1978, I took the oath of citizenship, as did my father. He came from India, and we both came here from Canada. And more recently, in 1997, my wife took the same oath, coming here from a lower middle class family in Malaysia. The first and perhaps the greatest Indian prime minister was Jawaharlal Nehru. And of the United States, he said, America is a country no one should go to for the first time. Now, maybe Panditji, as Indians and Indian Americans know him, said that because America is so overwhelming on the first trip. Maybe it's better to be eased into America slowly, across several visits, into a country that is as diverse as Donald Trump and Miley Cyrus, North Dakota and Hawaii, New York pizza and New Orleans beignets, the Federalist Papers, and Howard Stern. But we newcomers to America, we don't usually have the luxury of timing. If we arrive with life, limb, family intact, and even a modicum of short-term financial security, we're blessed, and we move forward. That we can move forward and pursue that vision of the Prime Minister, which is citizenship consists in the service of the country, is because of the remarkable freedoms in our new country. When the excitement of today is past, and there's time for reflection with a view to the future, consider the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the United States Constitution. I'm not here to assign homework, but you might consider every one of the 10 amendments will touch your life directly or indirectly by creating an opportunity for you to serve the country in a way that you freely chose and in a way that makes you happy and in a way that keeps our democracy and economy vibrant and fair. My professional and personal opportunities and those of my immigrant family are thanks to the First Amendment, which says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. In my case, when I apply the First Amendment to my own life, I think of the following. My father was a refugee from the hell of the partition of India on the 15th of August, 1947. The colonial power, Britain, had divided India on religious lines, essentially a Muslim Pakistan and a largely Hindu India. Hindus were on one side of the boundary becoming Pakistan, and as the movie Gandhi shows, the largest exodus in human history occurred. 10 million people, 1 million killed in religious violence. But arriving in India was just a temporary respite. It was not true freedom from the threat of violence or economic deprivation. And eventually, my father made his way to a medical residency at New York University and began a practice in rehabilitation medicine, serving quadriplegics, paraplegics, stroke victims, and others with ailments depriving them of mobility. He enjoyed the freedom in America to practice his faith. And finding for his son the best educational opportunities meant that I could work for the U.S., for the Federal Reserve, after law school. It also meant that I could marry someone rather different from me. Not an Indian, not a Punjabi, not a Hindu, but a Malaysian, Chinese, Buddhist. It also meant I could explore other religious faiths and convert to Catholicism, which I did in Easter of 2001. My life as a law teacher is also thanks to the First Amendment. I could and can and do publish books that both praise and criticize my government for some of its laws and policies, and I've even signed petitions against some powerful vested interests. All these blessed facts of my life are thanks to being a U.S. citizen and what that means, in particular through the First Amendment. My wife would say the same thing and add that she enjoys the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment, preventing the government from establishing a state religion. She left her home country precisely because it had an official religion that discriminated against her. We now are blessed with a lovely daughter. She's the first native-born American citizen in our family. And all three of us agree with the father of the Constitution of India, Dr. Ambedkar, who went to law school in America and was, like Prime Minister Nehru, a great admirer of the United States. When Dr. Ambedkar returned to India with his American legal education, he drafted the Indian Constitution, and it's been in effect since 1950. He was an untouchable, and he called for the annihilation of caste and the empowerment of women. And he said, first, as long as you do not achieve social liberty, whatever freedom is provided by the law is no avail to you. What are we having the liberty for? For the opportunity to reform our social system. And second, he said, I measure the progress of a community by the degree of progress that women have achieved. So he developed, Dr. Ambedkar did, these ideas to liberate India from 5,000 years of a difficult system here in America. That's where he developed those ideas. So you can see we export a lot of good ideas. 3 concluding points that I hope might mean something. First, when you're going, where you are going in America depends on where you're from. I'm an American, but I'm an Indian American. Bring your heritage in your service of this country to make it a better country. Second, the opportunities you have will depend on our political Bill of Rights. Enjoy those rights and use them effectively, aligning yourself and your talents with what they afford. And third, our shared journey as Americans, our democracy and economy, will also depend on our commitment to social progress and to women. Not all of that progress has occurred yet, and we all, as Americans together, need your help. Thank you, and congratulations, and God bless each of you and your families.
Thank you very much, Raj. Those were very profound and very meaningful remarks. They're as important for those of us who are native born to hear as for those who have just joined our ranks. And I'm very appreciative of your having taken the time from a busy class schedule. Raj had a class right before this particular ceremony and has one right after. And I know that it wasn't the easiest thing to do to work us in, but I'm certainly glad you were able to do that, and thank you very much. There are representatives with us today of a number of different organizations who will present some mementos of this occasion to you when we're finished with the formal proceedings today. Their names are listed on the back of the program. And please remain in your seats so that they can make those presentations to you. I also want to put in a pitch. The League of Women Voters will be with us here today, registering folks to vote. I don't care who you vote for, but you ought to vote. That's one of the most important things that you've obtained through your all your hard work. So please take this opportunity today to sign up to vote. And maybe I'll get to see you on a jury someday too. But the voting part's maybe a little easier for you to do. At this point, I would now like to recognize and call upon the Kansas wing of the Civil Air Patrol of the United States Air Force Auxiliary to present the colors and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. Thanks to the Civil Air Patrol group for their participation, and thanks to you, Dave, for your leading us in the national anthem. The court again congratulates each and every one of you on this wonderful and great occasion. May your new status as citizens bring you the joy and happiness that it has brought those who have taken this momentous step before you. Always remember, of course, that with these rights and privileges now bestowed upon you as citizens go responsibilities, which all of us trust you will accept and discharge with courage and fidelity to what is now our country, the United States of America. And with that, court is in recess.